Everyone's online. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Fateh. I thought today maybe what we'll begin with, or maybe try and explore a little bit, is um, the impact of certain kinds of emotions. So there are two ways to look at emotions. One way to look at emotions, ac- actually, let's separate feeling from emotion. Okay, let's to put the two aside. So feelings can basically categorize into three parts: distress or not distress, dukh, sukh. Either you are in a space of contentment, there's no stress, there's no distress, there is a level of peace, tranquility, calmness, or you're distressed. And that distress could be to do with um, um, uh, stress, could be to do with pressure, could be to do with a whole range of different things. But I'm going to define them a little bit more. So that's one way of looking at feelings. Emotions are when you have that basic feeling and you add a story to it. So, an example that I use often is, let's say you stood on accidentally on someone's foot, and at that moment you felt a level of distress in seeing the distress in the other person. That's the feeling. It's spontaneous. It's that. Tomorrow you see this individual limping. Now you give yourself a story. Oh, I wish I hadn't done this. I wish I wasn't as clumsy. I wish I wasn't this. Soon as you do that, that feeling plus that story gives you guilt. Yeah, gives you guilt. So we find that emotions at their base, emotions are the mental formation, the story, the memory, the interpretation, the belief, all of that stuff added plus the basic thing that you felt. Now we can either see, so there's one train of thought which says, well, all emotions are good provided they are controlled, they are managed, and you have them under control. So that could be suppression, that could be expression, that could be substance abuse, but you've got them under control, right? That's the definition on one side. The other side is within the Eastern worldview, it is any state of being that disturbs your peace is unhealthy. That's it. So if you feel jealous, it disturbs your peace. You feel that's unhealthy. There's nothing good about it because it's unhealthy. So the categorization and the diagnosis is based, and your inner peace is um, the guide. If it disturbs it, it's not right for you. If it enhances it, it's right for you. That's the measure that we use. And as a result of that, we are able to then navigate through life, regulate ourselves, because these two parts of dukh and sukh are part of the duality we're in. You can't have one without the other. Both of them have to exist in order for you to understand what the human experience is. And your pain is always, your suffering is always contains within it its cure, meaning it'll drive you to do something about it. So if you're unhappy within yourself, you will drive yourself, that unhappiness will drive you to go and do something about it. So your pain, your suffering becomes your medicine. So it's a different way of looking at suffering. Rather than pushing it away, avoiding it, not having suffering, always be in this happy go lucky space, that's not really the way life works. Life works in both ways. And if one is accepting of that, it's easier to navigate. Doesn't stop it, it's easier to navigate. Now, let's add another component. Let's add the fundamental component that we are normally 99% of the time on a self preservation mode, apart from when you're sleeping. But most of the time, self preservation. There's a level of anguish, there's a level of kind of undercurrent anxiety, instability, not knowing what's happening. There's this emotional undertone. And that seems to be getting more and more absurd. And now we have a new absurdity in some ways. Again, fear inducing. And this is what one has to become aware of. What language are you allowing to influence how you feel? Because that creates your mental formation, that creates your story. Your story plus the fear of dying is what's used to propagate this or induce this instability within you. So you rush towards medication, you rush towards irreversible interventions, and simply because the fear that you may be harmed. This fear can be then, once it's kind of seen in individuals, and you can see that this fear is so much more prevalent now post COVID stuff than it ever has been. So people are still really cautious. If someone has a sniffly, a sniffle or a cold, which we used to call pre-COVID, we didn't care that much as well as long as we took some precautions. But now we will avoid that place. People avoid coming there, and there's this huge. You could call it awareness, but you could also call it paranoia. And in that, it changes how you engage in life, right? Number one, if you're always in fear, how do you engage in life? You will only engage on your terms because you're fearful. Two, if you're fearful, what's the sum total of your life? I wore a mask. I did this, but I didn't live. When the guarantee of life is, or this part of existence is that there is an expiry date to it, then the quality of your life will matter. The way you approach your life will matter. And this quality of life is dependent on you, provided we use mental immunity, emotional immunity to enhance our physical immunity, which the biomedical model knows. Mental immunity. Don't believe everything that you're told. Critical thinking. Yeah. Understand that it wasn't the scientist that infused breath in you. It wasn't the government that infused breath in you. It wasn't the council. Existence allows you this gift of life, and existence will allow it to be submerged as well. It's got nothing to do with all the control structures. They're simply used to navigate it. So, in our finding some stability, we also need this bigger picture that's all around you. Don't need to take my words for it. Look at the trees, look at the trees, look at the clouds, look at the birds, look at the earthworms. Everything is in coherence with its own system. It's only the human being that's dysfunctional. And why is it dysfunctional? Because of the nonsense that you have all and we have all been preyed upon with information that is inadequate, unrealistic, and actually, if you investigate it, just fundamental lies. And this is because you have a reductionist model that everything can be reduced into a machine. It's not true. Life existence, the basis of which is consciousness, is a sacred element in all of itself. There's no good nor bad in the entirety of it. It operates as it wishes to operate. The tree grows as it wishes to grow. You may wish to interfere, I may wish to interfere. So, taking this bigger world view that's all around us, unfolding constantly, allows us to detach ourselves from some of the smaller things, which may be World War III, but still, it's the smaller things in the wider framework. So be cautious of the new fear porn that may come through as we move into winter. And, winter normally is where people are a little bit more take more caution. So be cautious of that, that we don't buy into fear because it will lower your immunity. And even if you weren't going to get ill, you're likely to get ill. And then you will blame whatever you were afraid of. So it's important to create stability, don't allow this energy that of fear or anxiety or the boats coming in or the aliens landing and all that stuff and the new variant of X, Y, and Z. Don't allow this to crowd your peace. And that's it. Once you take control of that, the whole thing becomes immaterial. So we'll begin with that and let's go for our meditation now. Yeah. Okay. So, as usual, we will always begin with altering our posture. And what I want you to note is how the internal space changes. Yeah. So, we want to be aware of our experience. So, you change your posture, you push your shoulders back a little bit. And if you just pull your chin in, as you draw your breath in, next one in, bring your focus to yourself and just allow yourself to become aware of what's going on with you. And this means physically, in terms of the physical body. Acknowledge your internal space, whatever it is, no judgment, just recognition, observation. Okay, and now very systematically, we're going to move from sense to sense. So bring your focus towards your eyes and becoming aware of what's in your field of vision. So you may find every so often you might get distracted by thoughts, bring it back to what you're aware of. If it's darkness, it's darkness. If it's thoughts, it's thoughts. And now, quite deliberately, we're going to move from the field of vision and we're going to begin to listen to the sounds around us. And now our awareness is simply listening. And it takes a short while before you become settled in just listening. No judgment, no thoughts, no commentary, just listening. Exercising your capacity to listen. Gently bring your focus now just beneath your nose, and your focus is now on the aroma. As the breath comes in, does it have an aroma to it? And now from the aroma, we move our focus towards our mouth, into our mouth, and notice if there's a taste. Imagine a hula hoop above your head, and as this hoop comes down, allow it to scan you for sensations, moving from taste to sensations, allowing yourself to be scanned all the way down, thoroughly, meticulously, slowly. And then take a moment to notice if anything draws your focus within yourself. A pain, an ache, a tightness, an itch. Notice there are sensations where your chair makes contact with your body. Bring your focus to those sensations. Allow this focus to move up your hips and then gently allowing yourself to scan your thighs as you move this awareness towards your knees. From your knees, move this down to your ankles. Notice the soles of your feet. Gently bring your focus back to the seat you are. Your back is straight and upright, and you're slowly going to bring your focus from your lower back to your middle back. Middle back from middle back to your shoulder blades. Notice your shoulders. Allow them to soften. Gently bring this focus down from your shoulders to your elbows. From your elbows down to your wrists. Palms of your hands. And then the fingers of your hands. Gently bring your focus towards your eyes. And once again, notice what's in your field of vision. Recognizing awareness for what it is. Awareness is not separate from you, you are awareness. And this awareness is always at peace. As you breathe out, you allow your eyes to soften, gently bringing your focus now to your lips. Scanning your upper lip, scanning your lower lip, and then moving this focus within your mouth. Noticing the sensations on the roof of your mouth. Within your mouth. Notice your tongue. Allow it to soften. Allow your jaw to soften. And then as you breathe out, you allow your face to soften. Next breath in, once again, become aware of yourself. Notice is there anything in the body that draws your focus. And then gently bring your focus just beneath your nose. Holding your focus on your breath. Allowing your breath to breathe by itself. Allowing your breath to flow by itself. Then gently bring your focus within yourself. Are you able to focus or are you distracted? Your mental space. Gently bring your focus to your chest and sitting with your chest. Notice the rising and the falling of your chest synchronized. Your focus is on your chest. Stay with your chest. Notice your breath coming in, notice your breath going out. And then moving your focus a bit deeper into yourself. You focus very at your heart center. And as you hold your focus there, notice how you're feeling at this moment. Not what you're thinking, but what do you feel within yourself. Do you feel settled? Do you feel unsettled? Do you feel disturbed by anything or are you at peace? And notice if you focus on the calmness gets deeper. If you focus on the peace gets deeper. On your next breath out, moving your focus from your heart center, opening to all the sounds around you. Aware of yourself, but open to all the sounds around you. Gently bring your focus beneath your nose. Once again, begin to watch your breath. Notice how the flows by itself. Bring your focus to the end of your out breath and the start of your in breath. And the end of your in breath and the start of your out breath. Following your out breath all the way to the end. Stay with your breath. Allow yourself to be absorbed with your breath, following your out breath all the way till the end. Notice how the breath feels now. Notice if the breath is subtle. Is it light? Or does it feel heavy, labored? And to allow yourself to be absorbed in this moment, begin to listen to the sound of your breath as best as you can. Remember, you're listening to your breath. And once again, on your next breath out, simply open your awareness to all the sounds around you, including the sound of your breath. Allowing your awareness to merge with the silence. allowing everything to flow by itself while you remain still, silent, and at peace. Gently bring your focus to your experience. If you feel calm, focus on the calmness. If you feel peaceful, focus on the peace. Notice the absence of time, the presence of peace, the absence of noise, the presence of silence. Your essential qualities. Gently bring your focus beneath your nose, sitting with your breath in silence. And gently on your next breath out, expanding your awareness to your whole body as best as you can. Getting a feel of what's going on with the body itself. Notice if there's any distress, discomfort, and then to allow ourselves to become present in ourselves, bring your focus to your chair. Notice the sensations where the body makes contact with your seat. And using that as an anchor, slowly bringing your focus up to your hips. Gradually bringing it down your thighs towards your knees. And then moving from your knees towards your ankles. Notice your feet. And then the soles of your feet. Notice your back is straight and upright, shoulders, arms, hands comfortable, your eyes are still closed, your mouth is still closed, and your face is relaxed, bringing your focus back to your breath. And now, as the breath moves in, you sense your body. As the breath moves out, you sense your body. Breathing in, you feel at peace. Breathing out, you feel at peace. Breathing in, you sense your body. Breathing out, you sense your body. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw some slow, deep breaths in, and in your own good time, gently opening your eyes. Take your time.